Hello and welcome back. Well, I shouldn't say that because there's been one total viewer over the first 2 days of the stream. If you are that one person, welcome back. If you're not, then welcome. This is BDuddy55555. That is 5 5s. I am once again attempting to stream the entire game of Gran Turismo 1 without buying anything. Of course, Gran Turismo 1 isn't a very long game, so that's not particularly impressive, but oh well. More importantly, I have adjusted the volume levels. I am trying a different mic, which I don't think is really any better. I've messed with the volume, the game's much quieter. I would honestly prefer it to be louder to drown out my constant failure, but it sounds bad, so there you go. After my brief stream 2 nights ago, I still have the same 3 tests remaining, 1, 4, and 8. As you can see, I've put a lot of time into 1, put a little time into 8. Last time I failed to complete both of those. 4, probably the hardest of the 3, I have not really touched yet. As you can see at the bottom left corner of the screen, I have taken 280, well, I guess I did some actual races, but I'm on day 288, which indicates lots and lots and lots of failed attempts. And right now, it's time to see some more, because I'm going to jump back in to test number A1, the simple matter of taking the first corner of Deep Forest. So I think the approach here is going to be to not try to basically cheese too much. I think you really do have to take it essentially as you would take a normal corner, brake early-ish like that. I'm going to try to keep it in third, maintain a decent speed, that is not it, and get up the hill. That was bad. So what we're going for is a 32.4, so that first attempt was just over a second off. Not quite what we're looking for, but basically touching the grass at all at exit just really kills you. Now that's been a good luck charm before when the car veers at the beginning of the test for no good reason, although of course this one is so close that I really need all the thousandths I can get. That was late, I'm going to be slow. I mean, that would be perfectly fine in a normal race, but here it is 4/10 off. Just think of, you know, losing 5/10 basically at every corner compared to the absolute maximum. Of course, this game has massive rubber banding anyway, so it doesn't matter. Nothing really matters. It's only 3 minutes in, and I'm already getting into the defeatism. That is got to be a new record. Let's try sort of late apex-ish. That was not late apex. That was late gas, more like it. It was actually going to be decent before I randomly decided not to turn and went into the grass. I did still improve a 10th, of course it is, those last 3.5 tenths that are the hardest. In fact, I have, after many, many, many tries, not gotten within 1/10 once. But it will happen eventually. Eventually. Maybe this time. Anything's possible. See, shifting down into second just kills the speed somehow. I mean, somehow that's how it works in a car. When you shift down, you lose speed from not just from the engine braking, really. I mean, you're off the gas anyway. But yeah, I think it's probably better not to. I sort of vaguely remember a decent run coming from not shifting down. I don't want to say good run because a good run would be a gold, but I seem to remember like a 32.5 coming from not shifting down. So I'm going to not shift down. I'm also going to not brake, apparently. See, if you shift down while you're accelerating, you actually don't lose the speed because the revs jump right back up. That might actually work if I wait to shift down until I'm accelerating. Does that work in real life? I feel like that doesn't work in real life. Of course, Gran Turismo 1, enthusiastically not real life. Well, I don't want to say that. They tried to be real life. They just failed in a variety of ways. So, yep, we got the Supra. We're going to be dealing with the Supra for Test 8 also. So I should be getting familiar with it. Oh, no, that was good right up until I hit the exit grass. That was actually good. It's just weird how, well, it's not really weird. I mean, it makes a kind of sense. But you can cut the inside, you just can't go outside at all. I mean, the thing is when you do bad runs, like, well, not the last one, but the one before that, remember to shift. When you do bad runs and still get a 32.7, it's like there's hope, right? All I just need to do is be a little better. And it seems like there's room for improvement, but there's not. Okay, that's something. That's a 32.5. It's not a personal best, but for the first time in a long time, I am in the top... Yeah. That's just fantastic. I'm in the top 7 of my own runs. I believe that should be 3rd. So, after all this time, it seems like the secret is don't shift down into second. Of course, I think the AT actually doesn't shift down into second, so, you know, if I had just done that the whole time, probably would have helped, but, oh well. Practice. It's not like it's easy when you're shifting down into 3rd, and I do that. I do notice 7.5 minutes in, my Firefox has not crashed yet. There was a Firefox update recently. I think the main thing it did was add an annoying search options bar at the bottom of my address suggestions bar when I'm typing something in. I'm sure there's some way to get rid of that. If I wanted to use the search options, I would type in the search box that has been conveniently placed right next to the address bar. But it's possible that this update has also fixed the persistent YouTube stream issue I was having. I haven't watched a stream yet today. See, that felt good, but it's a tenth worse. I just don't get it sometimes. Which is why my stream has remained stable on my side for the last 8 minutes, which is longer than useful. Of course, as I say that, the viewing side may be good. It appears that the encoding side is not, as my dropped frames number continues to increase. You're probably not hearing me right now. You're hearing me very poorly. Yeah, I don't know whether to blame Comcast or my router. Blaming Comcast would be nicer, as I did pick out this router myself. Maybe I should shift down as I'm accelerating. It seems like it's... I mean, just looking... Yeah, no, I don't want to see that again. Just looking at the RPMs and stuff, it seems like it sort of helps. Okay, but just looking at the quality is really bad right now. I really don't know why. I'm gonna fix that. Okay, let's try that again and see if my router and/or internet decides to cooperate this time. I don't know. I think I mentioned this before. I had a good router that worked great. It was like not a premium brand, but it worked fine. And then it broke, and I've tried like 3 other routers, and none of them has been as good for some reason. Even the one I just bought, which was highly recommended by everyone, you know, they said this thing is fast, it will help you, and it's slow. I mean, my problem is that my room is on the other side of my apartment from the router, you know, from the only phone line. There's no real way to move it. There's obviously no way. My computer is a desktop, so there's no way to move that. You know, my roommate, whose room is much closer to the router, does not have these problems. But yeah, and it's just a really awkward position with the hallway, where there end up being like 4 walls the signal has to go through, and my apartment is not massive. It's a pretty nice 2-bedroom apartment, but it's pretty much a worst case scenario unless I were to move my PC to the other side of the room for some reason. So yeah, actually for like work, conferences and stuff, for a while I had a bunch of signal issues. This new router is a little better, but still not all the time great. No. See, it's like it feels good. I'm getting into the corner good. I'm getting out of the corner good. There are no obvious mistakes. And I'm 3/10 off. And then a sort of mediocre feeling run can be a faster 32.6. I just don't know. So I have switched to a desk microphone. That probably means as I try desperately to find a comfortable position to distract myself from this never-ending horrible failure, sound will probably end up worse than before, but oh well. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? Don't shift down. Don't do it. It's a 32.6. It would have been good if I didn't shift down. Okay. How about this? I will shift down from 3rd to 2nd as soon as I pick up the throttle. Because usually I'm picking up the throttle in the mid to low 60s, and that is a bit low for 3rd gear. My normal shift up point is like 70. So it seems like it might help. Maybe. I'll see how it works this time. See, that was too early on the gas, but you can see that shifting down to 2nd does provide adequate acceleration. I mean, it just depends. Like, some of the time I'm trying to baby it through the turn, and in that case, of course, shifting. I'm tired already. It's been 15 minutes. It's like 6 p.m. Yeah, my brain has a, I don't know if it's unique. If I'm doing something stressful, I just get tired. Like, I actually yawn and need to go to bed. And I don't know, I'm probably on like the 12th, 15th try by now of this test. And yeah, that's how it tells me, please stop, this is not good for you. Really. It's probably right, but we started, so we'll finish. I'm on the gas. That was stupid. If this works, I swear. Oh my god! Why? Oh, it's 600ths. I can't believe that worked. Okay. That's totally different from what I've been doing like this whole time. But I don't know. Oh, I have a viewer. It's amazing. Welcome, viewer. You are my second viewer in 3 days of streaming. The second day was pretty short. I don't know if this is Diego, who is a friend, quote unquote, who comments on my videos or not. Either way, welcome. I am streaming Gran Turismo 1 on an emulator. Obviously, I'm attempting to complete the game without buying anything. This necessitates essentially getting all golds in the license test in order to get free cars. I'm currently on license test A1, which is hard. That was not a horrible run, and yet I finished 6/10 off of the gold goal, which is 32.4 seconds, and the viewer's already gone. That was fun while it lasted. I don't know if there's a random button, or maybe it's the people who subscribed to me originally for Pokemon and obviously don't care about Gran Turismo. Yeah, click on it anyway for some reason. Who knows? YouTube has ways of steering you in certain directions sometimes. See, that one test was good. I did sort of do the braking drift. I mean, I braked all the way down to like 59 or something. I did shift down to second. I accelerated out of it. I was going very fast at the exit, like 70, which obviously is crucial. But I mean, I tried that a bunch before, and it was always bad, so I don't know how I could duplicate that. That was like the outside line. I don't believe this corner has an outside line. And it doesn't. It's like, I know the racing line. You know, I know that there's either the normal approach or the slided in the corner Gran Turismo 1 approach. But it's just like so imprecise somehow. Like, you know, real cars and the best modern sims, the car just goes where you point it, and here it doesn't. It's always sliding to some extent. And usually that slide is understeer, but oh my god, that was bad, that was bad, that was bad. I mean, it's not that real cars don't slide, but you know, here it's just like everything is so dampened with the controller controls. That's the main issue with Gran Turismo physics, really. Like, in a real car, if you really yank the wheel, the car will go in a certain direction. I mean, now I'm holding the controller right next to the mic by accident. You can probably hear, you know, I'm handling by pulling the stick all the way to the plastic stop. That is just awful. You know, in a real car, if you did that, you'd just spin out. But, you know, this game was made for people to drive like that. It was made for people to drive with digital controls. So everything is absurdly dampened. When you pull your stick all the way, you know, for one thing, you're not doing the wheel anywhere close to what would actually be full lock, and for another, the game is giving you like half a second before the wheel is actually turned. And that's why, like, correcting is so stupid in these games, and why it's just hard to handle in general. Of course, the alternative would be arguably worse, that it would be, you know, almost impossible to steer gradually, but it's frustrating either way. Of course, I have a wheel that I could plug in, map the buttons, and do actual non-dampened steering, you know, and that would be much better because I'm decent at sims and at racing real cars, but that's just not an option that's available to me. So it's not even that the physics are so bad. I mean, they're not great, but it handles roughly like a real car. It's just the way in this game and Gran Turismo 2 and 3 and 4 even. I think 4 is a little better if you plug a wheel in, but it's arguably worse with the controller. you know, you have to like plan ahead. It's like dealing with input lag, except not. You know, the game is recognizing your inputs, it's just not acting on them. That was terrible. And it's not like driving a real car or a car in a good sim at all. I mean, input lag, even, you know, your inputs feeling slow is something people hate for good reason. I mean, that was one of the main flaws of the Need for Speed Shift 1 and 2's physics, is whether it was actual input lag or an attempt at damping or just the physics not giving the proper feedback, it felt like your inputs were not translating quickly. And that feels really frustrating, is not realistic. I'm backsliding. It just gets worse. That's the problem. Like, I do okay and I feel like I have a breakthrough, and then it's just more of the 32.7, 32.8 mines, and once again I'm nowhere near finishing. It's like, really, you know, I have one corner and not that long of a run out, it is uphill, to make up 4/10. I mean, that's huge. I mean, this course has like, what, 5, 6 significant corners? You know, that's... see, that shifted down a second. I mean, if I lost 4/10 on each corner, I would be losing, you know, like 2 seconds. Anyone who's ever watched racing knows that 2 seconds a lap is the difference between first place and a bad driver. But, you know, I mean, I'm not a great driver, I'm not saying I am, but just the nature of the damping and the sort of wonky physics. You know, I can try to throw the car in the corner the same way, and depending on just some minute inaccuracy of when I decide to turn in and how much it slides and all that, it will just kill me one way or the other. It's like, it feels the same, and it's 3/10 different, and that's a lot. I'm just going to stick with AT. I think it's better. I don't know why. I'm trying to do the same thing. That's the frustrating thing. It's hard to tell really when you're doing better and when you're doing worse, other than looking at the clock and seeing, oh, that was a 5, that was an 8. What's the difference? I don't know. It didn't feel any different. The miles per hour didn't even look all that different. I don't know about this one. I'm closing my eyes just in case. And it's thoroughly mediocre. Oh no, that was a 5. I thought I saw a 6. It's decent. But, like, what is the AT shifting that's 3/10 of a second different from my own shifting? I'm pretty sure I know how to shift. I've played a lot of racing games in manual. I own a manual. I've raced a manual. The hiccups. Anything worse than yawning. I own a manual. I raced a manual several times. I don't see it. I shift at the red line. That's what you do. You know, shift a little before the red line in this game. But it's like this game, thought it was a little better than it was, right? It's like, it's not really a precision racing simulator yet. You know, where you can really require people to meet tough targets while putting them, you know, in front of something like this. These targets were set, I would presume, by testers who had played this game a lot and were really familiar with the physics and basically their exploits. But obviously I'm not, you know, I haven't played this game in a while, so causes some issues, to say the least. We'll go a little lighter on the gas, see if that helps. You know, just before the start, obviously, not full throttle. I don't know if this would be easier or harder if I wasn't talking. I mean, obviously I'm not talking to anyone. But does it, you know, help keep me distracted from endless failure? Let's see. God, that hill is so long. Like, it looks like I'm at the finish line and I'm 4/10 away, but actually there's 6/10 left. Wouldn't it just be really great if, like, there was some bug with this emulator that was actually affecting the physics or the timer? You know, wouldn't that just be fantastic if, like, you know, 50% of my runs would have gotten gold on a PlayStation, on a real PlayStation with a real disc with the same inputs, but that's not happening because of reasons. That was a good apex, but a bad exit. So I'm again a quarter second off, like I've been for probably about 30 runs already, getting a 65 or 63 or 67. Well, we're coming up on the first half hour. We have set a personal best and not come near it again. That's always nice. Let's, I don't know, break early. Maybe I should turn in later. I got into the habit of turning in early because of the whole slide your car into the apex thing. But as I've stated before, that's sort of a bad habit I have in various racing games and in real life, and it doesn't usually help. So let's see what happens if I break early-ish and then turn in late. Hey, believe it or not, that's what you do to do a late apex. And believe it or not, that's the fastest way through most corners in real life. You know, it doesn't take super duper physics to make a late apex work. It's sort of a basic property of racing. Of course, it's hard to do when you have literally no grip in the middle of the corner. And that's sort of a thing of Gran Turismo, where you have basically no front grip at any speed, especially in medium speed corners. I'm gonna run out of things to talk about real quick. Okay, I did the early braking, the late turn-in. I still just slide it, absolutely slide it with no recourse because it's just impossible to turn the car quickly. That's the problem. You can't do a normal racing line when you can't turn in. And you can't turn in this game because the controller is so damped. So how are you supposed to turn in? You have to totally guess your turn-in point and just hope that the point at which the car actually starts turning is the correct one to do something vaguely resembling a racing line. The only way to get the car to actually turn in is to be braking and turning and do it like a mile before the apex. Because, you know, Gran Turismo physics. That's the frustrating thing, because, you know, and that was also the frustrating thing about, again, the Shift series and a lot of the worse R-Factor mods and so on, is cars that just take forever to turn in. Because real cars are not like that. I mean, maybe if you're driving like some boat, you know, Impala or like an SUV or something. But you know, spec Miatas are not like that. I can tell you that much. And a spec Miata is not a purpose-built race car. It's a sports coupe with a little engine and some suspension mods. You know, I was just getting my hopes up for a little second there, but it's not even worth stopping talking, is it? And you know, when you take a real race car on a real racetrack, or even my MR2, which, you know, has new shocks and new tires, and that's it. Hell, even my Mazda 3 with stock tires with very little grip and no shock mounts. When you turn the car into a corner, it turns. It might slide, it might understeer, it might do all sorts of stuff. But when you turn it in, it turns. It doesn't, you know, completely wallow like cars in GT 1 through 4 did. Okay, that felt good. That should at the very least be a decent time. Of course it's not. It's another 32.7. Why? I don't know. I just don't know. That's the frustrating part. Like, you know, there are games and cars that are hard, and sometimes they're too hard, but at least usually when you make a mistake, you can tell why, and at least know in a general sense what you can do in the future to do better, even if maybe your hands can't implement it. You know, early iRacing maybe not, but early iRacing was low-key terrible. But that just doesn't exist in this game. I'm still not sure whether it's better to shift on. Oh my god. Why? I just don't get it. Like, it's good. It feels good. I'm braking, turning, it's going through the corner on the edge, but decently fast. I'm feathering the exit, and again, it's decently fast, not in the grass. Like, that's roughly how you go through a corner. And I just don't know how in this game you can push harder. It just needs the grass. I have a feeling that's gonna hurt. Did that nick take 2/10 off, or just the whims of fate? Hard to say, really. You know, going by the monkey typewriter theorem, or whatever the real name for it is, I will get this eventually. Because, you know, if I laid down on the controller and simulated the seizure, then, you know, according to the laws of mathematics and randomness, it will be finished in a gold time eventually. See, that was so stupid. I was on full lock the entire time. That is not at all how you take a corner. And it's like above average. So, I don't know. Yeah, it shows the wheels turning. They're not. It just shows the wheels clipping through the front fender, which is always nice. Yeah, see here, you can see, I'm going full lock. This run's already over. I'm going full lock. You can see not only the wheels not clipping through the fenders, they're not even visible. Because, you know, I'm doing my inputs, but the game is deciding where to actually put my wheels. Oh, now it's full lock. You see. So, that's always the frustrating part. That's the main frustrating part, really. Like, if it was one-to-one control, it would be hard. It would be really hard with the controller. But I would at least be able to say that, you know, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough with control of this little stick to make the car go where I want it to go. And I would be able to remedy that by going down to my shelf, grabbing my G27 and plugging it in. But the problem comes when, you know, I'm putting my stick in a certain place and the game is deciding what that means. And, oh my god. And maybe that's how much I wanted to turn the wheel, maybe not. Certainly on turn-in, I would like to turn the wheel a little more aggressively rather than slowly sliding to something that sort of resembles a proper steering angle. But I don't have that option. So I just have to sort of, again, figure it out. Figure out when I need to start pushing the stick in order for the wheels to actually be turned at the point that they need to be turned. Yeah, this is not Darlington. There is no outside line. My controller disconnected. My battery's dead? I think my batteries may be dead. No, the light is going on. I don't know. The batteries of this thing, like, they seemed to die for a while, but I thought it was the transceiver, so I put the old batteries back and they seem to be doing okay, and maybe they're not. As long as that doesn't happen at the end of a good run, I mean, I want to get some use out of these batteries. Now I'm actually getting tired. This is the point at which my brain is really like, okay, what are you doing? Why are you continuing to do this? Please stop. On the bright side, my view of my own stream is still up, so I guess Firefox has decided to fix the issue, which is always nice. I can continue to allow inertia and general distrust of Google to not force me to use Chrome. That is not a good entry. So let's throw in not a good exit for funsies and see where that gets us. I'm guessing 32.9. 32.8. See, that felt really bad, but it wasn't. It was just mediocre. That's the problem. There are multiple problems with this game that you really only discover when you're trying to get golds. I mean, for its time, I played this game at its time, it's a good game. Like, people make fun of Gran Turismo since 5. It did a lot for sim racing, racing games in general, cars in general, particular 90s Japanese cars and Super GT cars. Yeah, apex speed of 51. Let's see where that gets us. If it's not a 33, then this I don't know. I do the stupidest things and it doesn't result in horrible pain. Like, when bad driving gets me average times and good driving gets me very slightly better than average times, what gets you good times? I don't know. Maybe it's bad driving. I started out with bad driving. Maybe it's abysmal driving. Maybe it's average driving. I don't know. I need help. Oh, and there's still 2 more of these to go. Why? What was that? I just coasted for like 10 meters for no reason. Okay, that was bad driving, and that was a bad result. So that at least is good. The other annoying part about my internet situation is that, as with most good routers, my current router has a 2.4 gigahertz network and a 5 gigahertz network, but which one is good and which one is flaky alternates seemingly which is annoying. Now, my microwave being on completely kills both networks, which, whatever. But I don't know if there's other interference, if like my cell phone is doing something, or what. so many 32.6s. See, the real problem is that when I get a good entry, I just can't get on the throttle because there's so much understeer. Although, is it understeer or is it just that the wheel doesn't turn? Could be either. Big yawn. So, that's what the sliding is for, to try to find a way to get the car turned enough so that I can actually get on the throttle, because there's no way I can get the car turned at the entrance through normal means because the wheels just won't turn. But there's this tiny little window between what I just did, which is sliding a lot, going down to 51, and then having decent pull but being too slow, and not really sliding, going down to 60, and then having to wait to apply the gas, and again being too slow, and both of those result in a 32.6. There's this tiny window of slide it a little, go down to 65, be on the gas at a good time, actually get up the hill, and get a 32.4. That certainly wasn't it. But, math would suggest that at some point between the extremes, there is a millisecond when I could apply the brakes, at which I could apply the brakes, turn in, get off the brakes, not all at the same time, although the first two are basically at the same time, that would achieve the desired results. And of course, any correction is absolutely deadly because it takes another half a second to get the wheel back to being turned. Okay, so I think the braking, possibly slash turning point, is just a beat after the curves. Because I've been trying to brake at the curves and it's too early. So we're going to try that. Oh, I hesitated. That was it. That was it. That was it. And that's not it. It's always the same time. Always. That's the hard part. Why does it always have to be the same time? I'm so consistently 3/10 away, and that's like a freaking mountain. It's just stupid. I don't know what to do. Come on, just do it for me, please. Just stick for once. And the problem is that when you start sliding, either some kind of built-in stability control or just the steering. Why? That didn't feel bad at all. Why is it half a second slow? I don't get it. Yeah, the problem is that when you start sliding, either some form of stability control or just the massive understeer, takes the car and not only straightens it out, it just pitches directly out the outside wall. So then I have to waste energy dealing with that, and I don't know what to do. Why? It's like I can get close, but then the next 5 tests are just, the salt mines again. Do I have to start better? Is that it? Is the wheel spin losing me 3/10? God, I hope not. I mean, I really hope so, because I can test that fairly easily still. maybe it's like, you know, an invisible hand just grabs the car and pulls it forward like so many Hot Wheels. I just want to go to sleep now. It's like 7 o'clock and I still want to go to sleep because of how bad this is. Make it stop. I mean, I'm using an emulator. I could cheat my way through, but I don't want to do that either. I just tried to hit the shift up and down buttons. Luckily, I hit the wrong one. I mean, it's not like that run was good, but if I had accidentally redlined it, then I would have thought it was good. Wait, hold on. I have a viewer? It's amazing. Hello, viewer. It says I only have one watching, which I thought was me, because amazingly, my stream is still working. But hello. I don't know what the delay or anything is like. Please feel free to stay a while and watch me spend the next presumably 4 hours on this license exam as I slowly descend into madness. It's just endless at the same time. 32.6, 32.7. I don't know if it would be better if it was a 32.4, 32.40 being the time required to clear this exam, but it's not good either way. So if it's 5 a.m. where you are, that means you're... Where is that? That like Middle East? Something? Central Europe? That felt good. It's probably not, but that felt good. I'm closing my eyes just to be sure. I don't want to see the time. It's 32.7! I don't get it. How can it feel good and be so bad? I don't know how this works. Well, since I do actually have a viewer, please feel free to tell me if this stream is entertaining or interesting in any way, if the sound is okay. I know the sound has been bad in the past. You are literally my second viewer in, well, I briefly had a viewer at the beginning of the stream, so third viewer in 3 days of streaming. So, I'm happy to see you. If you see that there are 2 people watching, the other person is in fact me. YouTube does count yourself as a watcher, so unless your stream glitches out, as mine did before, you shouldn't have to suffer the indignity, I guess, of having no watchers. This is probably not very interesting because it is literally me failing on the same license test over and over again. But the goal is to clear Gran Turismo without buying anything, and I'm going to stick with it. So now I'm curious, how did you actually find this stream? Was it on the front page or something? Did you subscribe to me before? I know YouTube is sort of mysterious sometimes in how it directs people to videos. It just doesn't turn. How can I get a good time when the car just doesn't turn? I'm going full lock on my little controller and the car just doesn't turn. What if I try to start differently? What if I am losing time? Oh, it is on the homepage. Okay. Yeah, I've seen small streams on the homepage before. I know when I was looking into Gran Turismo Sport before, then magically a couple people with like 4 or 5 viewers streaming Gran Turismo Sport appeared on my homepage. Obviously the homepage is not the same for everyone, otherwise I would have significantly more than 1 viewer. Were you looking up like Gran Turismo stuff before, or racing stuff? That would probably make sense. I assume this time I remembered to correctly categorize this as a gaming stream of Gran Turismo. Or it's just random. Sometimes YouTube just does random stuff. Actual YouTubers I know are very concerned about sudden and random changes to the algorithm that benefit and hurt certain people. Of course, I'm doing this primarily for myself, so I don't really care. It's just nice to occasionally have a viewer. Because this game certainly is not keeping me company very well. Just close, right? Like I'm debating internally between sticking to this and switching to one of the other license tests, but I don't know. I feel like I have some momentum, maybe, possibly. It just plows at the exit, it's horrible. Do I have Discord? I use Discord occasionally. Right now, I mean, I don't have like my own room set up or anyone. I don't really have anyone to chat to. I participate in some other rooms. I actually have it along with the rest of my browser, except for YouTube, closed right now because 1, so there aren't notifications or anything disrupting this. 2, because my internet is sort of fragile and I don't want to have messages impacting the streaming at all. So I use it, but not at the moment. If you're talking about a Discord to discuss this in particular, no reason to. What is my Discord tag? Well, my username is bduddy, so the same as my YouTube name without the 5 5s. If you mean the numbers that come after, which I assume you probably need to message me, I don't actually know. I think it might be 9928, but don't quote me on that. If you couldn't tell, I don't use Discord all that much, so yeah, I don't know that much about it, and I don't have that memorized or anything. And that was another fantastic effort. So, how long have I'm just thinking, how long have I spent on this license test in total? I streamed for several hours this last Thursday. I finished 5 of the tests. Spent some time on this one in number 4. By some time, I mean a couple hours. So, I think before I entered this, I saw I was on day like 230 something. I think a significant number of those attempts were at this test. So I think I'm probably over 100 attempts at this point. If I'm not over, then I'm close to it. and I've just tried everything. I've tried automatic, I've tried manual, I've tried early braking, I've tried late braking. Yeah, it doesn't work. Yeah, I can look it up soon. Should use Discord more? Yeah, I probably should. I know that like almost every subject, a lot of things use Discord. I'm just not that into chat really in general. I'm more into message boards. I mean, I've used them for a long time. I was never able to like get in with a bunch of people who chat a lot. Yeah, I don't know, something about message boards was always just better to me. I know these days message boards are sort of the old thing and everyone's into Discord and Telegram, I guess WeChat, Facebook Messenger, all the new hot things. I waste so much time. The real problem is I waste so much time on the internet already. I don't have time to add any other things or to spend a lot of time. I mean, obviously I do have time. It's just converting wasted time from one place to another. But it feels like I don't have time, you know, to add some chat room or something. Can I add you on Discord later? Sure, no problem. I can't promise that I'll be on often or chat often, but I don't see any reason not to. As you can see, the chat is not exactly moving very quickly, so I'll do that later. I think I'm probably going to take a break from this soon, either after finishing this test hopefully, or after getting absolutely fed up with this test and taking a short break so I don't go crazy, so I can add you then. I don't want to go through all the steps of trying to figure out the stream and pulling it up and everything. I'm in sort of a fragile thing right now where I wasn't able to figure out my streaming program, how to stream this window, so I'm actually streaming this monitor. I don't want to have to fiddle with trying not to show you my desktop and my favorite pages and all of that, so I'll add you a little later. Come on, come on. I want to do this. I really, really want to finish this test. Oh, that is not how to finish this test. Let's see, I'm just looking at my clock. I've been streaming for 59 minutes today alone, focused only on this one license test. And that's a lot. That's a lot. Uh-oh, I see 3 viewers. We're gathering momentum now. I'm going to have to actually produce results. It's a new high score for me. Oh, that was close. I'm 400ths off. It's another personal best. I'm so close. Hello and welcome, new viewer. If you're still here and didn't quit right away like most of them do. I am attempting to clear Gran Turismo 1 without paying any in-game money for anything. This necessitates clearing the license. He's already gone. That's always nice. Of course, I can't exactly blame people for joining and then leaving when they see this ugly game with my ugly emulator skills and my bad driving. But oh well. That was bad. I really want to finish this. It's been long enough. The really annoying part about this test is that it's only one turn, and you know, you have this really long run up to the one turn. You know, the problem being that in this game, I guess they hadn't figured out how to actually start you at a certain speed, so they gave you the really long run up, so you're approaching the corner at speed. Which makes sense, but it's really annoying. You know, if this was, say, a 15-second test, which was, you know, start a little later, going 100 miles an hour, and then doing the turn, it would be less annoying. I would, for one thing, be able to get in twice as many attempts. But it's not this way, not in Gran Turismo 1. They figured it out in Gran Turismo 2, luckily. But not yet. Oh, it just doesn't turn. The car just doesn't turn. How can you finish the curve if the car just doesn't turn? I don't know. Why did I do manual? Manual is slower. I don't know why manual is slower, but it just is. Part of it is, for some reason in Gran Turismo 1, it's always faster to shift really early. I don't get why, like before the red line. That actually seemed okay, right up until it wasn't. Oop, did I just skip to test 2? I think I did. Yep, I don't need to do this. I finished test 2 a long time ago. I mean, this part is like nothing. Like, there's no time I can gain or lose here. It's just going through the curve. And then it's like a 15-second wait on the front straight, which just gives me time to get angrier at this stupid game. I don't know. Was that okay? It felt okay. I don't know if it was okay or not. If it was okay, yeah, that's fine. I'll add you later. I really can't blame you for not wanting to watch this endless cavalcade of complete failure. Thank you for watching, really. You are honestly the first person who watched and contributed in any way, so thank you. I will add you on Discord. I swear, if I get this right after my one viewer leaves, that would be something. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen. To the right. Where am I going to brake? I'm going to try to brake in the middle. That's roughly middle. Oh my god, that was so bad. So bad. This game just has this really weird, like, entry power slide or something, where if you're turning at all when you brake, it, like, just turns you more. But it's not like a spin out or anything unless you let it get really excessive. It just turns you a little more. And because of the damping, that's like almost the only way to actually get the car turned in sometimes. So, well, that time I didn't really do it. That was bad. That was bad. Yet, you know, it's bad, but I'm a quarter of a second off. and other times I get runs that are good, that seem good, and they're also a quarter second off. So, yeah, talking about bad, that was bad. So that's the most frustrating part. You know, the physics can be bad, the time can be hard, but you know, if at least there's valid feedback and progression, then it's not so bad. When I try different things and get the same result, or try different things and get the same result, that's when it's really frustrating. See, that time I could have got on the gas earlier because I slid a lot. But it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I do. It's like I could throw the controller out the window and still get a 32.6. That's what it feels like. I mean, I really am trying a lot of different things, and it feels like, at least some of the time, doing okay runs. Yet, you know, even a 32.5 is rare and far between. Oh, looks like I have another viewer. You are indeed the only viewer other than myself, so welcome. Please feel free to chat while watching my endless failure. I am attempting to beat Gran Turismo 1 without buying anything, and he's gone. Oh well. Hey, the whole point of Gran Turismo is the license test. That's the only thing people ever talked about Gran Turismo. So if you don't like watching license tests, then don't show up to a Gran Turismo stream, okay? Because that's what you're gonna get. I mean, you could watch me do rubber band races against 5 AIs, but what's the fun in that? What's the fun in this? I'll get back to you on that one. But it's got to be somewhere, because I've been doing this for the last hour and 9 minutes, and I'm really no closer to finishing. In fact, I got a 32.4 like 10 minutes in, and an hour later I've improved on that by a couple hundredths. You know, an hour later and maybe 50 tries. So, yeah. But I'm still doing it. So the evidence suggests that either one of two things is true. One, this is fun. Or two, I hate myself. And, you know, I think I'm a pretty swell guy. So, somehow this has to be fun. You know what they say? Well, I can't remember exactly what they say. But the longer the wait, the more painful the trial, the better it feels when you win. So, it's going to feel pretty good when I win. It's going to be soon. It's going to be worth it. Front of the car. I wonder if this like makes me faster somehow. Wouldn't that be funny? Then you would have to endure speed runs with people doing that literally the whole time, and I just broke way too late. If this is a decent run, then I swear I'm going to throw this controller out the window. I can't believe it. It literally doesn't matter what I do. I can brake at 100, I can brake at 50, I can turn in late, I can turn in early, I can do basically anything other than actually driving to the grass, and the time is the same. So let's try it again. Let's brake late, and this time on purpose, which let's instead drive into the grass on the turn that means absolutely nothing. I'm going to brake late on purpose, and because it's on purpose, my time is probably going to be worse. Because I didn't even mean to brake late and I did a pretty bad line, and somehow my time is a 34.6, which, well, it's always a 34.6, but usually I do what I want to do. So let's do that. Brake at 50, slide it in, down to second, hit the gas. Like, braking that late in real life does not help you at all. It turns out braking that late in Gran Turismo helps you a lot, because I just got a 32.4 and there's room for improvement. So I guess that was the secret the whole time. First, do it in automatic. Second, brake stupidly late. Maybe we will finish soon. Or maybe I'll go through another half hour of 32.7s with this theoretically better new strategy. Honestly, it could go either way, but we'll see. In terms of late braking, that felt pretty good. So, let's see. Well, why did it do that? Well, I think I'm getting consistently closer, you know? I'm getting consistent 5s and 4s instead of 6s and 7s. So, you know, this late braking thing can't be too bad. You know, even though braking that late in real life would probably get me killed. Supras, I think they go better than they stop. And 50 meters from the corner is close for a Formula 1 car, let alone a stock 90s sports coupe. A good sports coupe, you know. I like Supras. If they weren't so obscenely expensive, I would consider buying one. But a normal car. So yeah. But this is Gran Turismo, the quote real, quote driving, quote unquote. I so screwed that up. The quote unquote real, quote unquote driving, quote unquote simulation. So, brake at 50 meters. Why not? In fact, if you don't, you're screwed. In terms of Gran Turismo cornering, that was about the purest expression of it. I think I just got a little too much grass. It's still 32.5. Okay, I'm gonna get through this. I am close. I will finish this test, and then I will take a break and have dinner, and add that one viewer who actually talked to me. Thank you, viewer. His name is Wolf. I shall call him Wolf, because that is his screen name, and for actually communicating with me, he deserves to be called by his screen name, rather than just viewer. That should be good. That should be good. I don't know if this is it, but come on, please. No! Why? Why does it do this to me? It's not even a personal past. You know the other thing? The ghost. It would be so fantastic if there was a ghost, so I could actually see where I'm improving and where I'm not. And if I screw up here at this first turn, I can just abandon the run and save myself 30 seconds of pointlessness. Well, here goes nothing. I don't remember that extra brake tap. I don't think I needed it. I think I should have just slid through the... Oh, no! Come on, please. Why do you do this to me? Oh, if I had not tapped the brake, I would have got it. Why did I do that? Okay. We got this. This is in the bag. It's in the bag. In front of an audience of me, myself, and I, we are about to get a gold. Nope, it plowed, it plowed, it plowed. It just stopped turning. I hate that. That's the worst thing about the first 4 Gran Turismos. That sometimes when you're driving with the controller, the game just decides, nope, you don't actually want to turn. You want to keep the wheel perfectly straight. It doesn't matter that you're in the middle of the corner and have a decent exit set up. You are going toward the outside wall, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Just a second. Okay. That probably was just the loudest thing ever. It's lucky I have no viewers. Otherwise, your ears probably would have just blown out. I dropped my cell phone directly on top of my microphone. But yeah. So I failed to call my shot, but I'm so close. I was within 100th. 100th is not very much. I think I can do this. Brake at 50. Turn it. Control the slide. Gas, 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 gas. Flutter, flutter, flutter. There we go. Come on, come on. Up the hill, up the hill, up the hill. 1. To the left. No. It's close. I can feel it. We're finally almost there. This is so much better than being at 6 and 7 all the time. I mean, you know, for one thing, if I'd been at 4 and 5 all this time, I would have finished like 2 hours ago. Because, you know, again, the laws of probability suggest that at some point, this driving will result in victory. Oh god, the paint is flaking off my controller. It's not even like at a part where I hold it. I think that was a little too much sliding, maybe? Oh, come on. Okay, now, if I stay at 32.4, for as long as I stay at 32.6 and 32.7, then that will be extremely frustrating, and I probably will throw this controller out the nearest window. But I don't think that's going to happen. I'm staying optimistic, and it has to finish. It has to. I'm so close. Please, just stop the clock early. Come on, come on. Okay, that was good. That was good. That was good. That was really good. Come on, come on. Get up the hill. Get up the hill. Up the hill. Up the hill. No, 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 no. See, the problem is that when you don't slide the car in and scrub off the speed, it's not even that it really understeers because of the speed. It's just the physics of this game make it impossible to get the car turned. So you have to not apply the throttle and not exit the corner fast. And then I lose that 1/10 going up the hill. That's the difference between getting a 32.3 and winning and doing what I just did, which is getting a high 32.4 and losing. Yeah, see, oh, why? I want to turn the car, game. I have the stick turned all the way to the left for a reason. I do not want the car to just randomly go straight. That's not understeer. That is the game deciding to stop turning the front wheels of the car. Because it's just, you know, yeah. I mean, I get why the stamping exists. It would be worse without it, but it's too much a lot of the time. It's really frustrating to deal with. Well, let's just, you know, what if we just don't hit the apex? What happens then? What if we pretend the road is somewhere entirely different? Then we get a 32.6, which is hardly surprising. You absolutely need to hit the apex. It's no question about it. I mean, it's not so much that you need to do the racing line, because, you know, it's almost impossible to do the correct racing line, the way the game turns your car for you. But, you know, it's just doing the shorter route and whatever. That was braking too early. That was just horrible all around. Yeah, it's not going to be a good run. Well, by current standards, that's not a good run. I think like my last 5 runs in a row have been worse than the previous one. It's always a nice thing to see. Brake late, get the car turned, hit the gas, get up the hill, and win. You can do this. One thing, don't drunkenly wander down the straightaway. 50, brake, turn, slide, gas, no, brake too much. It's a problem. Like, you can't modulate the brakes either, obviously. So, you know, it's like a tiny fraction of a second between getting off the brakes at 52 and steering yourself straight off the course and being too slow to get a gold anyway, and getting off the brakes at 60 and understeering or stability controlling straight off the track. And I still have this reflex to always brake earlier because, you know, I know just through, you know, the heuristic of having driven in games in real life before that where I'm braking is way too late. So, you know, of course, where I have to brake to finish this test is way too late because I've already established that braking at the 50-meter board is faster, but I can't do it. It doesn't seem faster, it seems like I'm sliding it in, and I am, and losing a bunch of speed, which I am, but somehow it works out. It's not going to work out that time. Because again, I was a mile from the apex. And the other thing, possibly the most frustrating thing of all about this physics, okay, if this sliding it into the corner thing worked and was consistent and, you know, in an arcade type of way even, it'd be fine. You know, it wouldn't be realistic, but it would be decently fun to drive and it'd be fine. The thing is that whenever you're doing it, you're on this absurdly narrow tightrope between sliding it too much like I just did and losing too much speed, and thus getting yet another 32.6, or overcorrecting meaning basically any correction, because just about the only steering input that isn't damped in Gran Turismo is an overcorrection. Getting out of the slide and promptly understeering off the course. And it's really hard to do that with a little thumbstick, you know, to find that perfect sweet spot. Because if I do find that perfect sweet spot, then I'll get a gold. There's no question about it. But it's really, really hard. I can't even get back into the 4s. I was there for like 5 minutes, and now I just can't do it. I'm trying the same thing, and then, you know, I've practiced, I should be better, but I'm worse. How does that even work? What is life? What is game? It doesn't compute. Brake late. Turn it. Get it slid. Get it slowed down. Go. Go, 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 go. Up the hill, up the hill. Come on, please, 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 please. No! Oh, I'm so close. I don't know what I can do better. I tried everything. The car reacts in a different way every time to the same strategy. It's like weather forecasting, you know. You know why weather forecasting is so off? You know, someone once made, you know, this is way back in the 60s when people thought they were real smart. Someone, you know, took this whole, you know, reams of data, the best minds in the business, the top of the line computers of the time, and they made this, you know, this weather model that took into account every single input and every single possible scenario, and I'm 500s off again, and predicted the weather. And, you know, it wasn't always right, of course, but, you know, it had these real convincing predictions, and it had, you know, data behind them, and reasoning and logic, and it was right sometimes, and it's like, yeah, we just have to refine this a little more, and soon we'll be able to predict the weather. And then there was one day where, you know, someone like, hold on, we fed in the data twice, and it gave us two entirely different results. How can that happen? I mean, whether weather is hard to predict or not, you know, a computer should not be able to do that. There wasn't any randomness in the model. So they looked, and eventually they figured out what happened. So what they had done is, you know, they took it, you know, they took their data, their input data, and they put it into the thing, and it made a prediction. Then, you know, something happened, some paper got torn, and coffee spilled on it, or whatever, and they had to redo the second half of the prediction. They kept the first half, but they lost the second half. So what they did was they took the numbers from some point at the prediction, and they fed them, you know, they had all the numbers, they had the prediction for what the forecast would, for what the temperature and the wind and so on would be at every point. So they just took them all and fed them back into the computer. Slow down way too much there. But, you know, they truncated it. So what the computer did was, you know, it spit out the numbers like the predicted temperature or something to something ridiculous, like 10 decimal points. When they entered them in, they're like, well, you know, it can't possibly be that important. We'll put them into like 3 decimal points. So like the temperature is 72.376. And it turned out that this weather model they had, you know, using the top equipment, the greatest minds, everything they knew about weather at the time, you know, the difference between, you know, the temperature to 3 decimal points, 72.346, and 72.346917843. After a couple days, the model just gradually diverged and diverged and diverged until it was spitting out completely different predictions. And obviously, this is totally absurd. Whether you believe in the butterfly effect or not, it's impossible for us to even measure the temperature to that degree of accuracy. So the conclusion was, you know, using the best knowledge, you know, meteorological and weather knowledge we have, it's impossible to accurately predict the weather based on one set of inputs, because it just is so crazy. It bounces around so much. And, you know, we have gotten a little better since then, but the theorem still holds when it comes to the weather, that very small changes in the input, you know, can cause massive changes in the predicted output, which is why you see things like 50% chance of rain, because or, you know, a range of temperatures. Because, you know, it's not that the computer is spitting out a range immediately from one model or one prediction. It's that they take their best model and they put in the real data and then they put in the data with 1 degree higher and 1 degree lower and slightly more wind, slightly less wind. And they take everything the computer spits out, in many cases completely different results, you know. In one case it's raining, in one case it's not raining. They take all those out, they average them, they make probabilities, and that's what gets reported, you know. If there's a 50% chance of rain, it means, okay, maybe the model said that if the temperature is X, where X is the actual temperature, it won't rain. But if the temperature is X plus 0.5 degrees, then it will rain. And if it's X minus 0.5 degrees, then it'll also rain. And if it's X plus 1 degrees, then it won't rain. And are any of those actually true? Probably not. But it turns out that by doing this and having good computer models, you do actually get a pretty good picture of the truth. So that's what they do. And basically, the point of this whole extended, I guess you can call it metaphor or pointless story time of my original major, systems engineering, before I switched it to computer science, is that Gran Turismo 1 is the same way. That a tiny variation in your braking or your steering, mostly, you know, corrections, causes just a stupidly large, in some cases, output result. Which is not really, I mean, maybe it's true of like F1 cars, but it's not really true of real cars. Which is sort of paradoxical. I mean, we've already established that in Gran Turismo the car reacts much slower. But that means that I sort of have to pick a point ahead of where I want it to actually turn in and stick with it. Whereas with the real car, you know, you turn in, you get the input, you immediately see whether you're on your right line or you're a little left and you're a little right, and you can make a little correction. Here you can't really do that because, you know, the turning is damped, but then the corrections are usually undamped. So if you make a correction, which is almost impossible to do properly on a controller, and even if you do, it just sends the car completely in the other direction when it begins, usually understeering. Is that good? Might be good. It's okay. I'm 1.5 tenths off, and it's not within my top 7 times. I mean, this is better than the endless 6s and 7s, don't get me wrong, but it's starting to get frustrating because I really thought it was close. I really thought I was going to get it after a couple more tries, and that's not happening. And it does seem like, once again, I'm just getting further away, and I really don't like that. I really don't like that at all. See, like, I turned in, I tried to do a small correction. It's really hard to do a small correction with a stick, and, you know, it just sent the car straight to the outside. And, I mean, hitting the apex is important in any kind of racing, including real racing, but especially in Gran Turismo, because of how understeery it is on the exit. If you come at the exit from the middle of the track instead of the inside, you just have no chance. And I'm not talking about late apex, I'm talking about having room to swing out, because you're going to have to swing out unless you're going no speed at all. And I try to avoid doing that. Especially at Deep Forest Turn 1. Because having no speed at the exit of Deep Forest Turn 1 results in you puttering slowly up the hill and then failing a license test. a little too much drifto right there. It's going to be very bad. See, that was awful. Like, really, that was not at all how I wanted to go through that corner, and not at all how you should go through that corner. But it was still a 32. Like, that was bad. That should have been a mid-33. You know what the worst part is? I only get to listen to 30-second snippets of the music, and it's quiet because I wasn't able to find a way to make my emulator actually loud. Is that good? I honestly can't tell. It's not really good. Come on. Why? Why? Who was the tester, the manager, the whatever with me, who did this test and decided that 32.4 was an acceptable target for people who didn't work at Polyphony and were racing on a standard controller, probably without even an analog stick. I think Gran Turismo and the analog stick came out at about the same time. A lot of people didn't have them. I wasn't around, but I know that. People don't realize that now. The original PS1 controller had an analog stick. I mean, I can't try it now because of the way I have everything mapped. Yeah, I actually have the arrow keys mapped to the right analog stick for some reason. And that just wouldn't work. I'd have to drive with just the one hand. Or do something with it. But I think trying to emulate the D-pad with the analog stick would be bad. Gas! I want to turn! I don't want you to go straight in the middle of the corner. How is that so hard to understand? If the car would just turn through the corner, I would have passed this 2 hours ago. I know. Like, it's okay if the tires lose a little grip, you know? I can figure it out. I don't need you, the game, as my understeer manager, understeer creator. See, yeah, it doesn't want me to understeer, so instead it just steers me directly straight toward the outside wall. Okay, I'm getting hungry now. It's starting to get dark outside. I've been at this one test for approximately an hour and a half. I mean, the stream time is more than an hour and a half, but I spent some time messing around with the stream. So, this needs to be done soon. I'm not joking. That might just be stupid enough to work. Come on, get up that hill. Oh my god. I just don't get it. I don't get how this is supposed to work. I don't. You know? The only way to even get a decent time is to brake stupidly late, toss it into the corner, and then, you know, the game's steering assist just takes all control from me and sends it toward the outside wall. Unless I keep sliding, which scrubs all my speed off. And either way I lose. Turn! These wheels are not turned. I'm not even understeering. The wheels are just not turning. How am I supposed to get through the course if the wheels are not turning? That's why they're there. Look. At the start line they turn just fine. and then I hit the gas in a rear-wheel drive car, and somewhere between the steering assist and traction control and the stability control, the thing just plows, you know, and it pulls in a beeline to the outside wall. And there's absolutely nothing I can do about it other than dump the throttle entirely and coast out of the corner. And believe it or not, that doesn't work. I know, shocking, isn't it? You know, I've had, you know, now 32,489, which is 900ths away from the gold time, is not in my top 7. I've had 7 times better than that. 100th away, a 32,410, and I can't beat it. And added insult to injury, I still have no proof. You know what they say, misery loves company. I have a lot of misery right now, and not a lot of company. That should be good. If there's any justice in this world, that would be good, but there's not. That was just about as nailed as I can make it. I know you can hear all squeaking around and everything. But at this point I don't really care, because I've been sitting here for an hour 45 doing the same license test over again, and I can't sit up straight for all that time. It just doesn't quite work out for me that way. See, yeah, like the only steering that actually goes the way you push the stick is overcorrecting. Gran Turismo wasn't the only game to do this, by the way. A lot of games do, because otherwise you couldn't correct at all. But, you know, for the muscle memory of trying to use I'm tired, God. For the muscle memory of trying to use the stick to get the car to turn in the direction I want it to go, when you're pulling left and it does nothing, and then you tap it right and it immediately sends the car hard right, you know, in going through a left-hand corner such as this one. It's not good. It's not good. Maybe it works for other people, maybe it works for the devs and the testers, but it doesn't work for me. It's never worked for me. Just turn. Why would you do that to me? I just need you to turn. It's not that hard. It really isn't. Is there like some cheat code or something? I mean, I know I said I don't want to cheat, but what was that? You know, I don't even need to fix the physics. I can deal with the physics. Physics are fine. It's the fact that, you know, these inputs are so obscenely filtered and suppressed and squelched, and I'm way too tired to think of any of the actual word I'm looking for. But tired. That was bad. God, I'm getting worse again. Okay. After this, 5 more tries, and then win or lose, I need to get dinner, because this is getting to the point at which I can't focus on it properly. Not that I'm dying from hunger, it's just mental. It's been too long, and I'm not improving. I mean, I could barely do any better without, exceeding the limits of but this is looking just like it was during the real bad periods. Again, that's what I said. I get this whole new strategy, it looks okay for some runs, and then I just can't replicate it. No matter what I do, the car, you turn in too early, too late, it slides too much, it doesn't slide, it understeers, it understeers, it understeers, it never oversteers, it understeers again. And, I lose focus and hit the wall before even getting to the turn. That was 5, right? So we have 4 left now. I want to do this. I really want to do this. I don't want to have to come back and boot up this game and be back to the exact same test again. Still 3 away from beating it. Oh god, the Trial Mountain one is just worse. The Grand Valley one is okay. I think I can probably do it, but yeah, it's just as soon as I correct, it immediately swings things back out. Three attempts left. I can't focus. I want to go to bed. It's 7:30 and I want to go to bed because of this stupid license test. Please just get through the corner properly. Please. Oh my god, I did not want the car to snap straight in the middle of the corner. I just briefly tapped the stick to the right. I don't need that to happen. There's just no way to correct in this game besides, that kind of massive overcorrection. If you did anything like that in real life, you would just spin. Now you just plow off the track instead, but the effect on your license qualifying time is just as bad. I can't even look at the game. Just drove directly off because my eyes were half closed. 2 tries left. Let's wake up for this one. Get some water. Come on. Brake late. Not too brake late. Get it turned. Hit the gas. Up the hill. 32.3. All there is to it. Just a smidge before the 50 point. Now. Turn. It's not turning. It just doesn't turn. How am I supposed to get through the corner when the car just absolutely refuses to turn under any circumstances whatsoever? All the weight was on the front. It just doesn't turn. There's no way, 2 ways about it. There's some sliding, but it's mostly because the game just decided I didn't actually want to turn left that much, so it made the wheels go straight. I'm sure there's some way to dissuade it of that motion and actually go through this corner quickly and get a 31.8, but I don't know what it is. least we finished on a decent note, but I can't do this anymore. Not for right now.